But man, I've been trying to build my Nintendo corner. It's bad. It's just bad. I'm like going back in regression into like childhood. I'm trying.
Retro junk.
For real. I went to a thrift store and I bought myself a three. It was $3 for a fifth. No, is it a 20 inch?
I'm gonna pop some tags when I got $20 in my pocket.
It was it was $3 for a 20-inch TV, like a tube TV. So
Damn.
I had to get it. It was a Panasonic, right? And then my in-laws gave me their old Nintendo. I've owned 4 NESs in my entire life. The original one that my parents bought me. On that fateful day, my dad bought me an NES, and he bought it for me and got me a game. He got me a game. Like my voice is getting like, my voice is getting all like emotional. He got me a game. He got me a game. He got me a bike, and I was just like going crazy because I had just come off of Atari. I didn't know what 8-bit NES graphics looked like. I mean, I was just like, whatever. I didn't even know the NES existed until my cousin played it in front of me, but never let me play it. So I was always upset. He would always be playing Castlevania and stuff. Finally, I get my own one, and I get this game, Excite Bike, which is like a motorbike game. So I play that one and whatever. And I think I owned that one. I sold that one for $100 back in the day. And yeah, and I had I had like 80 games, man. It was crazy. I had a whole bunch of games, and I would never finish any of them. I like the only game I ever beat out of my
trend continues today.
For real, the only 2 games that I've ever beat, like as a kid playing NES. I know, and it has continued over to today. It's weird. Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES by Ultra Games. The first one, which people like, they just take that game and they just say that it is like not like when you're talking about canon with Sheehan. People are like, this might be the first attempt, but there are no, like, besides Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, Splinter, the Turtles, April O'Neil, everybody, all the other characters, and the Foot Soldier clan, all the other characters are like made up. And they just made up like these weird people that nobody, and they're there, and like you kill Bebop and Rocksteady in like the first 2 minutes of the game. So it's like the main villains, you kill them off already, and then Shredder's like the last boss, and that's it. Like recognizable characters. Everybody else is like made up. So I beat that game.
Crazy.
I used to beat that game and the funny thing is I used to beat that game just to kill some time. Like to kill 2 hours, I would beat it. And that game supposedly is like the hardest game, one of the hardest games in the library.
Damn.
And as a little kid, I don't know.
Skills.
Yeah, as a little kid, I would just breeze through it. And even like there's a level in the dam, which if you've heard, like people would talk about, it's like infamous. Like people will talk about playing Ninja Turtles, and then just getting up to that point and dying.
Dang.
And I used to breeze through it. I don't know why. And then like, well, the other game I used to beat, or the other game I only beat once was Mario Brothers. And Mario Brothers, yeah. And then I saw a friend of mine, I went over his house and I saw a friend beat Mario 3.
So like automatically that means you did it because I seen it. Like
I seen it, I saw it. Back then that was
it's the video game Sharingan.
For real. The copy gamer. But then like yeah, like back then that was like, oh, I saw the Let's Play. Basically, I was at my friend's house and he played it and beat it.
And then I killed him and got the Mangenkyo Sharingan. It's like kill my best friend, get that shot. It's like now I can do everything he's done.
Everything. That's just the worst. But then I for some reason I bought another NES afterwards and I sold that one too. For like, I don't know how much I sold it. I don't remember.
Let's see a pattern here.
Yeah, there's a pattern. Then I bought it again and I sold it, and then now I just inherited another one for
Yeah,
free.
like, and Nintendo loves you because you have bought and resold almost all your Nintendo consoles at least twice.
At least twice.
Like every
I
single
stimulate.
one,
I stimulate the NES coin economy.
pretty much. They're like, yeah, it's like, don't worry, we know Biotechzilla is good for at least 2 consoles. We gotta mark that down. Mark that down.
Mark that. It sounds like
It's like
Obama.
it's like they're having like their quarterly like financial call, and they're like, and Biotechzilla's normal quota of 2 consoles has been filled,
For real.
and we project that he will buy 2 more before the end of this console generation.
It's crazy.
And then and all the
crazy.
old Japanese men are like, yes, this is good.
Yes, this is right. His quota is going to jump to 3 this year when we release the GameCube. Because I bought 3 GameCubes.
Dang.
And I bought one on launch day. I remember walking into Toys R Us and just picking a GameCube up. I had
launch
nothing.
day, all my plans screeched to a halt.
For real. Like, it was like, I walked into the freaking Toys R Us, man. I had nothing better to do. I had a PS2 at home. I never got the Xbox. Never played the original Xbox. Never.
You didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Against the PS2, forget about it. So, I mean, I had the PS2. I had the good stuff at home. I remember actually that same week I bought Grand Theft Auto 3.
Woo!
And then a week later, after Grand Theft Auto 3, like, you know, I just play it and forget about it. And then I spent $50, and then I went to Toys R Us and picked up the GameCube with Luigi's with Luigi's Mansion. And I remember bringing it home and like moving the PS2 aside for a minute.
Now that's a rough cut to go from GTA 3 and then jump into Luigi's Mansion. It's like that's a genre chasm that you jumped over, a crevice.
Oh, it was intense. It was an intense transition. I'll tell you that much. But then I bought. What happened? Oh yeah, then I traded everything because I wanted the I don't know what the heck was coming out. Something came. Oh yeah, the Game Boy Advance.
Oh god.
The GBA, man, when the clamshell
What?
GBA.
Oh, the SP.
No. Well.
Because that's the clamshell one. You mean the candy bar kind of, the original one.
Right, the original one.
You know, what game? You know what game did that freaking thing launch with? Because Pokemon Gold and Silver was already out, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gold and Silver was Game Boy.
Yeah, so what? Or Game Boy Color, right?
Right, Game Boy Color, because it was
like what was the allure of GBA? Because now that I think about it, I can't remember what games came out for it.
Mario Kart. Okay, because it was
check that box.
Right, yeah.
Check that box, Reggie.
Check it. Mario Kart Advance. Super Mario Brothers Advance, which was basically rehash. It was Super Mario Advance 1, 2, and 3, which was Super Mario 2. The first one was Super Mario 2, because they couldn't release Super Mario 1 back again on GBA, because Super Mario Brothers Deluxe was already on Game Boy Color. So they released Super Mario Advance, which was Super Mario Brothers 2, made for the Game Boy Advance with better graphics, and the most horrific idea and the most horrific plan ever was to give Mario voice in that game. And it was like, I could not play that game. It was horrible because he was like, Yahoo, weehee, yeah, woohoo, Yahoo, every time he jumped, and it did not belong in Super Mario Brothers 2.
Dang.
Then Super Mario Brothers Advance 2 was Super Mario Brothers 3, and then Super Mario Advance 3 was Super Mario World.
Dang.
And then Super Mario Advance 4.
No logic and paying top price for rehash anyway.
Yeah, that's where it does make that lyric does make sense there. And then what, they had Game Boy Advance, and then they had like Pokemon Leaf, Green, and Fire Red.
Ah, yeah, I remember that.
Because it was just a remake of Pokemon Red and Blue or something like that.
Was Green wasn't what? Man,
Green,
they confused me because they made red and blue. Right. Then they made yellow.
Then they had gold and silver.
Then they had gold and silver.
Right. And
Then there
gold,
was
silver, and then they had platinum.
they had a Pokemon Platinum?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I remember hearing that. And then there was and they had Leaf Green and Fire Red.
Leaf green,
And
fire,
then
and then they had the shoot,
what was
Pokemon.
after that? Was it it wasn't Sapphire or Onyx.
Yeah, it was. It was
Onyx and Sapphire or was it um
something.
Pearl, Pokemon Pearl.
Yeah, yeah. Pokemon. Well, there was Pearl.
Yeah, diamonds and pearls. Dang.
Pokemon.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Don't even.
Yeah. There's there's a Pokemon.
There was too many, clearly.
There's a lot. There's Pokemon Game Boy Advance games, and they have actually. It was what was it? Pokemon. It was like Indigo Returns, Crystal.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Crystal. Dang.
Blue Sea Edition, Fire Red, Yellow version. They had the yellow version, Quartz.
They had a Pokemon Quartz. Are you for real?
Yeah, Pearl, Sapphire, Ruby.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Pokemon Ruby.
Ruby.
And Emerald, Ruby and Emerald.
And then there's Chaos Black. Oh, there was a lot of Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, and it was just like Emerald version, Leaf Green, Blue Sea. Oh, it was like a lot. Crystal version. Just a lot of crap. But anyway,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, I remember.
And you bought them almost all. You bought almost all of them. It's like.
Yeah, I think I was going through a phase where I was like, and it's like a current phase. Because I go through my cycles. And it was a phase where I was like, I want to get rid of my consoles and just have a handheld. Because I want to be low profile. That's what I always want. I just wanted to pop that thing in my pocket.
Self-esteem takes us lower. Hide your drink in the backpack.
For real. So I traded in my GameCube and the controller, like not even thinking about connectability because I never really wanted to do that. I never really thought about that. So I traded those two items, the game, everything, kept my PS2, and then, like, because I kept my PS2 because it was a DVD player.
Yeah.
That was like it. I used it for DVD and I used it for some games. And then I traded in and got a Game Boy Advance with Mario Kart and what else? What else did I get it with? Something. And then the screen, the original Game Boy Advance screen was not backlit. So
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
it was like the original Game Boy, and then
That happened. They did that with the SP though, right? They backlit the SP one.
the SP was backlit, and I got pissed. I was like, "Wait a minute!" And then I was trying to find a mod because there was people doing it online where you send yours in and then they'll modify it.
Yeah,
But then there was like
replace
but then there was like a 20% chance that they'll break the screen, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and then even then, like you didn't have the brightness control that you did on the SP. So like it would be on the lowest brightest setting on the SP, whereas the SP you could turn the brightness all the way up. So it still wasn't as good as having the SP.
Well, no, wait a minute. The the last version of the SP had the brightness setting.
Oh.
One of the first SPs, I remember owning an SP at one point. I found it at a thrift store, I think, and it had just on and off. That's it for the screen.
Ah.
So brightness,
There.
yeah, brightness didn't come into like really strong play up until the 3DS and DSi. But that was my cycle back then, and I did that, and then freaking now I'm building a little corner, and then the battery on my Zelda game dies. Zelda 2, while I'm freaking halfway through the adventure, I go to put my game in, and I'm like, there's no saves.
Dang.
It would have benefited from a password, but it's just like the password doesn't work. Like if you input, like I've played a game.
The password is Porunga.
For real, I played a game, like a Clash at Demon Head, and it it has password, right? But like I had $10 billion, and I put the password in, and then it brought me back with like $500.